Happy New Year. Hello, this is Malcolm welcoming you to the 1935th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, the first one of 2014, Dateline the 9th of January 2014. And the readers this week are myself, Elizabeth, Katherine and Audrey, with Dave on the controls. And the items that we'll be reading come from our local newspaper, the Enfield Gazette, the Enfield Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Local stories include hospital welcomes the first baby of the new year, a New Year message from the mayor, a flat fire toll rises as a girl's gran dies, and 2 shops shutting up. But first of all, we've got quite a few special news items this week, and so Elizabeth is going to read the first of them.
Please don't forget that Enfield Vision and Enfield Association for the Blind will hold their monthly drop-in on Thursday the 16th of January at the Park Avenue Disability Centre from 10:30 to 12:30 p.m.
Moorfields Eye Hospital NHS Foundation Trust is holding a drop-in session in January to offer people a chance to find out more and give their views on a proposal to move its central London hospital from City Road near the Old Street roundabout to the King's Cross Euston area. The January session will take place on Friday the 24th of January 2014 between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. in the main entrance of Moorfields Eye Hospital in City Road. Local people, patients and others with an interest in Moorfields can also find out more and contribute their views by downloading a copy of the engagement document, which includes a feedback form from the hospital's website at www.moorfields.nhs.uk. For more information, please call Project Manager Elizabeth Smith on 020 7253 3411 extension 4285.
The Edmonton 100 Historical Society will be hosting a lunchtime talk at 2:15 p.m. on Wednesday the 15th of January in the Jubilee Hall. Alec Barnett will talk on Switched On, the story of electricity. For more information, please telephone the Society on 020 8379 2839. That's 020 8379 2839.
Enfield Council is seeking your views as part of its budget consultation for the next financial year. The Council wishes to know your service priorities and suggestions for making savings or improving efficiency in Council services. You can send your comments by email to budget.consultation@enfield.gov.uk or call the Civic Centre on 020 8379 1000. That's 020 8379 1000. And the deadline for responses is the 30th of January 2014.
The Chase, Southbury and Town Ward Area Forum will take place on Thursday the 23rd of January 2014 at 7:30 p.m. in the conference room at the Civic Centre, Silver Street, Enfield.
The Jubilee, Lower Edmonton and Ponders End Area Forum will take place on Thursday the 16th of January at 7:30 p.m. at Galliard Road Primary School in Edmonton.
Bush Hill, Grange Park and Winchmore Hill Area Forum will take place on Tuesday the 14th of January at 7:30 p.m. at Winchmore Hill School, Laburnum Grove, Winchmore Hill, N21 3HS.
Okay, if you're experiencing any problems receiving your Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. That's 020 8805 6578. She's your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. At the end of side 2, please remember to turn over the address label on your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. And now, Elizabeth will read the first item of local news.
A new mother spoke of her delight after she gave birth to North Middlesex University Hospital's first baby of the new year. Sarah Louise Hannah of Crichton Road brought her daughter Casey into the world at 4:30 a.m. on January the 1st. Casey weighed 8 pounds 1 ounce when she was born and is now at home with her mother. Sarah Louise, 21, who works as a sales assistant, said, "The birth was very calm and pretty straightforward, but I was just so happy to see her that I think I was a little in shock. She was 2 weeks late and I was really surprised when the hospital said that I had given birth to the first baby born here in 2014.
And our Mayor, Councillor Chowdhury Anwar, wishes us a Happy New Year in this message. I wish a very Happy New Year to all my fellow citizens and the residents of the borough. London Borough of Enfield is an exceptional borough with so many people coming to reside because of its unique record of cohesion and achievement. The people of Enfield do deserve more recognition for its participation in and contribution to the civilised way the people live together with respect for each other. I, as the first citizen of the borough, would like to reiterate my wholehearted best wishes for the sustainability and continuity of our achievement. Enfield is a diverse borough with about 330,000 residents. The pressures on housing and other services are mounting because of the increased population. There is now a challenge for the people of Enfield to learn how to manage their own affairs with the curtailed resources available. I would like to see that the population of the borough can combine tolerance with tranquility, peace with prosperity, and harmony with heroism. One of the devastating aspects of our borough is the gang culture, which has resulted in the deaths of our promising young people through no fault of their own. I would like to see that the community takes an active part in addressing this particular problem, and the authority should provide the building mechanisms so that the community can address its problem in a strategic and sustained manner. I would like to invite the new community who have recently settled in the borough or intend to join the existing community to undertake an active role in promoting inter-community activities and forging a sense of belonging to the London Borough of Enfield. I once again wish my fellow citizens best of wishes for the new year.
The grandmother of a 4-year-old victim of a fire that tore through a flat in Edmonton has also died of the injuries she sustained in the blaze, which claimed the life of her granddaughter. Colleen Springer, 50, of Solomon Avenue, died in hospital on December the 23rd of organ failure as a result of carbon monoxide inhalation suffered after the fire broke out in her ground floor flat on the afternoon of December the 19th. Her granddaughter, 4-year-old Tamia Rose Springer, was pronounced dead at the scene after fire and ambulance crews were called at 5:15 p.m. The young girl, who lived with her mother in Hornsey, North London, was being looked after by her grandmother that day, according to reports.
2 beacons of independent business in the borough will be shutting up shop for good this month. High-end kitchenware shop Papillon in Green Lane, Swinchmore Hill, and retro gift shop Ruby Blue in Chaseside, Southgate will be gone from the high street by the end of this month. Despite being lauded for their innovation and tireless work by the business community in the borough, both retailers are having to permanently pull the shutters down in the midst of fierce competition from online retailers. Describing her decision to concentrate on online sales as a tactical withdrawal rather than a closure, Ruby Blue owner Emma Chapman said, "People don't shop like they used to. Most people shop online now, and I understand that. I'm a working mum. I know how difficult it is finding the time to just pop into a shop. But I need to adjust to be able to compete with that." Mrs. Chapman, who won the Enfield Retail of the Year award from Enterprise Enfield in November, revealed that it was a financial decision she felt she had to make. "If we kept going, we would have ended up in trouble," she added. Agreeing that conditions on the high street at the minute are tough, even for the best business people, Mark Ruddling, Town Centre Manager for Enfield Business and Retailers Association, said, "People need to be aware that if you don't use your local businesses, you're in danger of losing them. I wish I knew the answer, he added, of how businesses can weather the storm. It's about engaging with the local community, but both these businesses did that, and they still had to close. What I do know is that we would be lost without our town centres. Ruby Blue will close on Sunday and will focus instead on ramping up its online presence. Papillon will stage a closing down sale before shutting at the end of this month.
These are two letters about Broomfield House. The first letter is from Vic Grabici of Ecclesbourne Gardens, Palmer's Green, and he says, "The proposition that Broomfield House should be demolished because the money might be better spent elsewhere seems to me to point to a short-sighted and reactionary impulse. Even in a time of austerity, we have a vital and indispensable need for the stability and sense of place, which indisputably contributes to pride in the community. Demolishing Broomfield House would not solve the problems of our society, but could arguably contribute to them by removing yet another one of the building blocks which made Palmer's Green such an interesting and attractive place to live and to visit. Previous generations had the foresight to save the parts of our town which we all enjoy, and who can argue that austerity, crisis and competing demands haven't visited us before? Detachment from our indigenous cultural heritage is a stress line in society, and we need to be showcasing what makes our society so attractive, not diluting it and discarding it. Anyone who remembers the beautiful, fascinating, historical building that was Broomfield House, set in the heart of the park and gardens, will want to see it restored so that our community can once again fully enjoy it. So what if it had a mock Tudor facade added in the 1920s? A sympathetic restoration would take care of that." And the next letter is from G.A. Musey of Mitchell Road, Palmer's Green. Further to Jean Robertson Molloy's letter Demolish Broomfield House in the Advertiser on December the 11th, I agree entirely with her about the need to clear the site and provide a decent refreshment facility in Broomfield Park. I've no objection to private money providing a copy of the old house, but if Enfield Council is prepared to contribute £1 million of taxpayers' money, it should hold a referendum to get agreement from the residents first. Broomfield House was given Grade 2 listed building status, which relates to important buildings of more than special interest, which have survived in anything like their original condition. However, the building was gutted by fire, and what remains cannot be described as anything like its original condition. I don't understand why the Grade 2 listed status is still retained for a pile of burned wood and ashes. If Broomfield House is rebuilt, then it will only be a copy produced with modern materials and will have lost its aura of age. How right Jean Robertson Molloy is to seek a decently priced cafe denied to visitors to the park for 25 years, a decent licensed restaurant to cater for wedding receptions and other ceremonies that would pay for its upkeep is another option. Come on, Enfield Council, let's hear from you.
Council tenants are being urged to act quickly to secure a grant towards buying their own home. The government's Grant to Vacate scheme means tenants may be eligible for help towards purchasing their own home if they move from council accommodation before March the 14th. Amit Oikena, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Housing, said, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to get applications in fast. We have funding up to March the 14th and want to be sure that we use it. This is a great opportunity, so I say to council tenants, if you think you qualify for a grant, please contact Enfield Homes. The scheme assists those living in rented council properties to enter the housing market, as well as helping new families who need a home. Qualifying applicants will receive £40,000 if moving from a one-bedroom property, £50,000 if switching from a two-bedroom home, and £55,000 if moving from a property with 3 or more bedrooms. Tenants who have been with the council for at least 2 years will be considered, but applicants must prove that they are up to date with rent and are unable to afford their own home without the aid of the grant. Applications will be dealt with on a first-come, first-served basis, and interested tenants can visit www.enfieldhomes.org for more information and to download an application form.
Trainee doctors and nursing staff are being offered cheaper rent by a charitable housing association. Viridian Housing is allowing 226 flats at its Robbins Hall site in Gardiner Close, Ponders End, to be used by doctors and nurses working at nearby hospitals for cheaper rent. The rental price will be between 75 and 85% of current market rates. Sharon Alexis Wilson, Operations Manager of Viridian, said, "Offering an assortment of accommodation has proved extremely popular among key workers, who often come to us looking for the basic single accommodation before upgrading to larger housing options within our sites. This is a shortage of affordable housing in London, and Robbins Hall was a welcome option for many."
A councillor accused of online Islamophobia has spoken of his relief that his year of hell is finally over. The Advertiser can reveal that no criminal charges will be brought against Chris Joannides, a Grange Ward councillor who was kicked out of the Conservative group after comments and images which mocked Muslims appeared on his private Facebook account last year. He maintained throughout the controversy that the printed-out images of his account were manipulated by a third party as part of an elaborate political smear campaign, and he has announced he will be standing for re-election in Grange Ward in May after the Enfield Southgate Conservative Association selected him. His selection is subject to approval by the National Conservative Party, but if he is elected, Mr Joannides will be reinstated automatically to the council's Conservative group. In a statement, he told the Advertiser, "I'm delighted that the CPS agreed with me that the comments on my Facebook page did not break the law in any way. Some of them were not even posted by me, and the CPS accepted that modern media is an easy way to conduct a political smear campaign, as demonstrated by this incident. I'm extremely grateful for the support I've got from Enfield Southgate Conservative Association, which has stood by me through this terrible episode and the year of hell I've been put through. I hope to put this behind me and rebuild my good name by rejoining the Conservative group on the council and serving the people of Grange Ward," he added. The council is now expected to conduct an investigation into the incident. The complaint against Mr Joannides will now be referred to the Councillor Conduct Committee for consideration, said a spokesman.
A leading councillor has defended a spitting ban in Enfield, despite figures showing no one has been fined in the first month of the scheme. A borough-wide bylaw was introduced on December the 9th, giving council staff powers to fine people up to £500 if they're caught spitting antisocially in public places. But 4 weeks after the ban came into force, Enfield Borough Council said just 2 investigations were underway and no one had been fined. Councillor Chris Bond, Cabinet Member for the Environment and a leading campaigner for the bylaw, claimed that the success of the scheme would not be measured on the number of fines handed out. He said, "I'm pleased no one has been fined. I'm hoping we're putting people off. I think the success of the bylaw will be measured by how few people we fine. It's about intervention and getting the message across that is not acceptable. We've been in schools and on local radio spreading awareness, and I'm pleased with the coverage we've had. We don't want to prosecute, we want to stop it." The Labour councillor said he and council staff would be monitoring the scheme, but claimed it was too early to determine its success. He said it's early days and it's probably the wrong time of year to judge it, but when things get back to normal after the holidays, we'll be assessing it. We've spent a fair amount of money on posters in libraries and schools, and we're likely to spend more over the coming months and in the new financial year. We will look again at it around March and April and see if it has been worth it.
Enfield will receive more than £1 million from the Mayor of London to support local transport projects. Boris Johnson has teamed up with Transport for London to provide £147 million over the next 3 years for projects across the capital as part of their local implementation plan. The borough will receive £250,000 for the Lee Valley Road traffic-free cycle route, which aims to encourage more and safer cycling. The other £850,000 will be given to the Greenways programme in Enfield, which will use the money to provide safe and quiet walking and cycling paths across the whole borough. Mr Johnson said, "Without the London boroughs, we simply couldn't deliver the huge programme of improvements we are making to the capital's roads, open spaces and neighbourhoods. This funding, together with the investment through my roads and cycling plans, means the improvements being delivered in partnership with London's boroughs are simply unprecedented. Safer cycling routes and better open spaces not only make our cities safer, but they also boost local economies, encouraging people to support their local high streets." London's Transport Commissioner, Sir Peter Hendy, said, "This money will have a great impact at a local level, delivering hundreds of projects that will make a real difference to the daily lives of local people and boosting local economies. This work is key to supporting and complementing our wider investment to improve the transport network for people who live or work in London or who are visiting the capital."
After all the Christmas recycling and rubbish has been deposited, the borough's dump and recycling hub will be closed for a week next month for maintenance. The Barrowell Green Household Waste and Recycling Centre in Winchmore Hill will be closed for a week from February the 4th, while essential repair work to the weighbridge takes place. The £25,000 refurbishment will ensure that there is an accurate record of the amount of waste collected at the dump, a legal requirement, and to ensure that contractors are charged accurately. In the meantime, residents will be able to use mini recycling sites located across the borough for small electrical devices, textiles and mixed dry recycling. They are at Tesco in Savoy Parade, Enfield Town, Tesco in High Street, Ponders End, Co-op Unity Superstore in Hertford Road, Enfield Lock, Morrison's in Alderman's Hill, Palmer's Green, and Morrison's in Southby Road, Ponders End, and Sainsbury's in Flores Square and Highland Village. The council has said residents can also use facilities in Barnet, Tottenham and Chingford. Cabinet Member for Environment Chris Bond said, "These works are crucial in ensuring this site continues to provide a high-quality service to our residents and play a vital role in helping us to manage our waste for years to come."
Off-licences are being asked to take cheap super-strength alcohol off their shelves for good by police and Enfield Council. The authorities are asking shops to sign up to the voluntary ban before the end of the month in a bid to tackle crime in the borough's town centres. The ban, which is thought to be the first of its kind in London, would be on beer, lager or cider with an alcohol content of 6.5% or more. Stores that do not sign up to the ban, where there are associated problems with alcohol sales, could have their licence reviewed. That would include formal conditions, including restricting the sale of super-strength booze. Christine Hamilton, Cabinet Member for Community Wellbeing and Public Health, said, "This type of alcohol is often sold cheaply and is therefore attractive to young and underage drinkers and addicts. We want to make it much more difficult to obtain this particular type of drink in order to deal with some of the problems excessive consumption can cause. And we want off-licences to play their part and help us achieve the aim of reducing the health risks, antisocial behaviour and crime associated with excessive drinking." Cabinet Member for Environment Chris Bond added, "If retailers choose not to sign up, that's entirely up to them. But we'll take an incredibly dim view of premises which act irresponsibly, and will take a very strong action against those that are unwilling or unable to behave responsibly. The campaign aims to achieve long-lasting benefits for residents by improving the health of drinkers and reducing the number of unnecessary hospital admissions and early deaths caused by excessive drinking. It is also bidding to reduce street crime and the fear of antisocial behaviour in the borough."
A multi-million-pound boost has been received by Enfield Council for providing new homes, but the money has been branded a drop in the ocean by a leading councillor. The 3.4 million new homes bonus, intended by the government to reward local authorities that provide newly built properties or conversions or bring empty houses back into use, was awarded to the council just before Christmas. Under the scheme, which was introduced in 2011, £2 billion is being handed out to local authorities in England over 2014-15. There's an extra reward for newly completed affordable homes. Over the past year, the council has brought 47 properties back into use and has been rewarded for building 1,583 affordable new homes. Enfield's allocation was the 10th lowest in London, with neighbouring Barnet receiving 8.2 million and Haringey netting 5 million. The total amount awarded to the council over 4 years will be 8,241,000. Ahmed O'Connor, Cabinet Member for Housing, said the figure should be looked at within the broader context of austerity. In April, it will have been 4 years since Chancellor George Osborne outlined what, for Enfield, has meant a total of £80 million cuts, a 27% reduction in revenue. Mr O'Connor said, "Of course any extra money is welcome while our budget continues to be cut by the government, but this money is not ring-fenced to build new homes, and it's nowhere near enough to deal with the housing crisis we have in the borough. The government needs to open its eyes and work with local authorities and build the social housing we need." Tory councillor Edward Smith, Shadow Cabinet Member for Housing, said, "The scheme is proving to be a huge success, with more than £2 billion awarded to local authorities, enabling 550,000 new homes to be developed, including 93,000 empty homes being brought back into use, and the creation of 160,000 affordable homes. The council is expected to make a decision on how the money will be spent in February.
We've now reached the end of side 1 of this tape. Please stop your machine now, take out the cassette, turn it over, and start side 2.